Young as it is, Drink and Think is already one of the hottest debating sessions in town. It's not a lecture, it's not just a social. You get a glass of wine, but you're expected to contribute. Today we're going to have a Drink and Think on culture as the soul of a country. And I know this is going to be lively because we've got two wonderful star guests. Glenn Gui and Ivan Heng are hot from producing their Importance of Being Earnest, one of the great productions I've seen. They're going to be here as star guests, and my goodness, they're going to set people's brains alight. You watch.
Speaking historically, this is exactly the sort of thing that Singapore needs. When we were becoming independent in the 50s and 60s, there was also a very lively debate about what it means to be Singaporean, what it means to be Malayan. And this debate was carried out in the public sphere, in newspapers, privately, in the kopitiams, everywhere.
I mean, for me, it was really nice to actually meet Glenn Gui, and I know a bit about his history as well, and to hear about Wild Rice, and to hear actually their opinion, and to actually see them get fired up about issues that are important to them, because you rarely ever see someone intelligent and eloquent getting fired up. We naturally always get fired up.
Comment that really irks me is the fact that the art should be, culture or arts should be funded. They should find their own P&L, which is such a crude word, right, that I deal with at work every day. But which, in a scenario like this, when we're talking about culture and how it influences society and how it influences the evolution of society, it shouldn't be part of our vocabulary.
With today's discussion and exploration, it was quite interesting to see where everyone came from. And of course, there was a lot of talk about theatre as part of culture and about funding for theatre as well within culture. And of course, it's very important to talk about the reality and the economics of the high arts, the high culture.
The problem with Singapore is that we're only listening always to one side, always listening to one view. And the wonderful thing about a conversation like this was that there was a sense of freedom to say what we think. I think that's deeply necessary in Singapore, that we should all have the freedom to say what we think, because everyone really just can.
Clayton's Cornerstone Wine certainly fueled a debate today. Wow. We heard people expressing the need to have a soul themselves, because culture isn't just the soul of a country, it's the soul of each one of us. And did we get some controversial statements today? We certainly did. I'm glad about that, because to me, culture is how we want to feel about the world. We're full of action, we're rushing about doing things, but we have to feel about the world if we're going to enjoy it too. Culture is what helps us to do that. The way I look at it is this: theatre is paid for by bums on seats. It gives back brains on fire. Yeah.